I'm always impressed by Indonesia is the drive and the passion of the founders. So there is really
Wow.
some of the most entrepreneurial individuals.
Visitors kembali hadir bersama saya Yani Yusra, dan kali ini kita akan berbincang-bincang dengan Markus dari Antler. Hi Markus, how are you?
Hi Yani, I'm good. How are you doing?
Okay. So you're in Singapore right now?
Yes, I'm in Singapore. You must be in Jakarta, right?
Yes. So before we dive into the discussion, maybe you can introduce yourself and tell me about yourself and what is Antler.
Sure, and thanks for having me today. So my name is Markus. Originally, I'm from Switzerland. I've been in Southeast Asia in the tech sector for the last 8 years. So prior to my current role at Antler, I was with Zalora Group. That's an online fashion company that also has a large presence in Indonesia. So I spent a few years there. Later on, I was part of Global Fashion Group, the holding company of Zalora, out of Singapore, where I had a corporate development role. And in 2018, I joined Antler out of Singapore. I'm currently an associate partner here in the Singapore office, working very closely with the founders, portfolio companies that graduate from the Antler program. But yeah, let me maybe give a quick introduction about Antler and what we do.
Yes.
So Antler is a global early stage venture capital firm, and our mission is to find and enable the most ambitious, talented individual entrepreneurs to form teams, find a business idea, concept to work on, and then invest in the teams and help them to make to become successful tech startups. So the way Antler differentiates from typical VC firms or accelerators is that we start at the very beginning with the individual founders, and we help these founders to form co-founders and get started in the first place. So we're in a way creating the companies from scratch, and we don't just support existing companies through investment or acceleration. So Antler has its global headquarters here in Singapore, but in the meantime, we have offices in 14 locations globally. And in each location, we are running 2 programs per year. So the program is a 6-month program that enables these entrepreneurs to form teams and get started with their technology companies. So and let me maybe give a very brief overview on the program. So at the beginning, we receive around 3,000 applicants each time. We then select about 100 founders to join our program. The first phase of the program will be around 2.5 months, where the founders will find their co-founder. They will develop the right idea and validate their business models. And at the end of that phase, we will then invest in selected teams. It's a standard deal, $100,000 for a 10% stake in the company. Another thing is that in the first phase of the program, the founders will also receive 2,500 Singapore dollars a month of allowance that will help them to cover their living expenses and costs that come with going through the program. After they receive an investment, the teams will stay another 3 months with us, build the prototypes, scale their business, and then at the end present at the demo day. After demo day, they will go out there, start fundraising from external investors, and hopefully many of them will become local, regional, or global success stories. So that's Antler in a nutshell. Of course, you can find more details on our website, but I hope that gives a brief overview.
So it's in Singapore dollar, right?
It is.
Not
The
US dollar.
The investment is $100,000.
Oh, US dollar.
Yeah, but the allowance, the grant they get in the beginning of the program, that's Singapore dollars. So 2,500 Singapore dollars per month for 2.5 months, and then the teams that are successful and receive an investment, they receive $100,000 as an investment in a company.
So what kind of startups that you are aiming for? Is it fintech, edutech, health tech, or Antler have this certain of category that you are aiming for in terms of startup category?
Yeah, so in terms of the categories and industry, we are very agnostic. So our focus is to start with the individuals and empower any ambitious, talented founder to become a successful founder of a technology firm. So our founder composition is very diverse. So it ranges from across all possible industries. So it can range from consumer tech, can be enterprise tech. We also have an increasing number of deep tech, biotech, robotics.
Wow.
So we want to be very broad, and there are no restrictions on the verticals. What we have less often are hardware companies. I think there are some exceptions, but we're less hardware focused. And of course, the main criteria is really to build a solution that is scalable, that is solving a huge problem, and that is venture backable. So the addressable market needs to be large enough to attract venture capital funding after the Antler program, and that can really be across any industry.
You've been doing this for what 2 years or 1 year, or maybe already long enough in Antler?
I've been with Antler for a bit more than 2 years. So I joined the company in July 2018. So it's been a bit more than 2 years now.
Okay, so what do you think the difference between Indonesian startup and other startup in Southeast Asia country? Maybe you can give us like in Singapore, for instance, what is the difference between Indonesian startup and Singapore startup? Or maybe you can give us another example, the differentiation.
Yeah, so we of course we see talented founders and great startups in both Southeast Asia, overall Southeast Asia and Indonesia. But one thing that I've always impressed by Indonesia is the drive and the passion of the founders. So there is really some of the most entrepreneurial individuals with huge ambitions, lots of energy and drive. They come out of Indonesia, and they are addressing of course many of the opportunities in that market. So I would say there is more like the more natural entrepreneurship among the Indonesian founders. Many of them might not have gone through. They might need a bit of support when it comes to fundraising or like preparing a really nice pitch or like presenting the corporate profile, or need some support with refining the business model, which we support them in the first phase of the program. But they're extremely talented in bringing firms into the market, hustling their ways to get first customers on board, growth hack their way through. Also, lots of technical and product talent in Indonesia. So I would say in that way, very. It's a bit hard to compare it with a Singaporean founder, but if I have to say one core criteria, it's just the drive and the hustle that is even stronger in Indonesia than.
Okay, Markus, what does it take for us, our Indonesian startup, to get in touch and to be funded by Antler?
All right. So you can the most efficient way to apply is to go to our website antler.co and submit your application. So any individual founders, but also existing teams that are interested in going through our program, they can apply on our website. I suggest you select the Singapore location, which is closest to Indonesia. We also have lots of Indonesian founders in our programs. So just ensure you submit your application properly, and we will review all the applications that come in. If you have any questions or you want to get in touch, feel free to also send me an email, markus@antler.co with a K. I'm happy to also help out.
Okay, thank you, Markus, for your time, and hopefully we can meet offline after the pandemic is slowing down.
Yeah, thanks as well, Jenny, for your time and for having me. I hope there will be a chance to meet in person soon.